Woo! Ooh, we flipped that whole failure thing around real quick, didn't we, Papa? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of Jujutsu Kaisen content, discussions, reviews, all kinds of fun stuff coming straight to you. So, with that being said, this chapter was absolutely incredible. Oh my god, Maki is the absolute best. Let me tell you what. Before I do this, though, I do want to say I made a video talking about Toji just being Endgame Maki and the kind of growth that I kind of want to see Maki go through for the rest of the series. And it kind of matches up perfectly with how things developed in this chapter. So do me a favor, go check that out when you're done here. But with that being said, we're actually getting into it for real now this time. And we pick up where we left off, obviously, with Ogi dragging Mai and Maki's almost lifeless bodies off. Once again, reiterating to them that they are failures. They're the reason they drug him down below his brother. They're the reason Naobito was able to become the head of the clan over Ogi. Ogi might be projecting just a little bit there. I mean, yeah, Ogi's a good sorcerer, but I'm just saying, Naobito was pretty dope. He was pretty bad, I ain't gonna lie. And yeah, Ogi might be projecting just a little bit. But he does have a point when he's talking to Maki at the very beginning of the chapter, telling her that she cut his blade and assumed that his reach had shortened and stepped in too far, and that's why she lost. She judged him as a swordsman on her standards. He says, I am a Jujutsu sorcerer, not a swordsman. You judged me by your standards and not by mine. And he is entirely correct in that aspect, and that's, well, just more growth that Maki can have as a fighter throughout the series, learning the best way to judge a Jujutsu sorcerer rather than the best way to judge a swordsman. Because, well, like I said, that's entirely true. If he was a swordsman, yeah, his reach would have been shortened, but as a Jujutsu sorcerer, he has the potential to extend his range with his cursed energy, not a physical object. That is a very good point that he made. Now, with that being said, that's basically the only good point Ogi's going to make for his entire life. And we're going to figure out why, let me tell you. Whew! Alright, so he's dragging him off and drags him to a room that is used for training and punishment. And he just throws him down the stairs while Mai is still just talking garbage. I'm not going to lie, I've grown to like Mai more and more as she has gone on, especially in this chapter, at this beginning. I really enjoyed it because she's sitting there getting dragged on the ground, leaving a trail of blood behind her, sweating profusely, bleeding out her mouth and presumably her stomach or wherever the hell he stabbed her, just talking garbage as he throws her down the steps. Doesn't even care, just smiling at him like, yeah, shut up. I love that. That was great. The ability to look past the fear of being on death's door and being like, you know what? Screw you, old man. I don't care. That was great. But with that being said, he throws him down the stairs, tells him there are multiple grade 2 or lower level curses in here, and yeah, they're afraid of me right now, but once I leave, they're gonna come out and kill both of you. Alright, and I want to put this in here real quick because I forgot to mention it when I first recorded this. Ogi tells Maki at one point, he says, every Jujutsu sorcerer has your power, telling her her heavenly restriction, the fact that she has enhanced physical capabilities. He says, we fight with trained bodies that are enhanced by cursed energy. Every Jujutsu sorcerer has your power, Maki. That was 100% cap. 100%. No, sorry, Ogi. You have a weak sauce version of Maki and Toji's power. Curve your prejudice, sir. You are just flat out wrong, and that is cap. Alright, I had to put that in here right now, because that was 100% BS, and Ogi was lying to himself and every single one of us. Alright, just had to put that. So, he leaves, and Mai decides that she's going to have to give up her life to save Maki. The way she does this, I don't think anybody saw coming, but it plays in very well, and and somewhat fleshes out even more the concept of Jujutsu Kaisen itself. Because one of the main concepts behind the series is losing something to gain something else. Sacrificing something to gain power. Give and take. There is a balance, there is scales to all of these things. So we get this scene where I'm presuming that this whole like kiss thing, this is not like I actually saw. Apparently there are some people that are like, oh, Maki might kiss his sisters. This was not a like, oh man, I've loved my sister my entire life. That's not what this was, okay? I believe from a physical aspect, this was more of my pouring her cursed energy into Maki to bring Maki into that mutual mind, non-corporeal zone that they were in. Because, well, we go on to figure out that monozygotic twins, or what Maki and Mai are considered as one person in the Jujutsu world, and no, they're not, like, it's not a literal sense. They are two physical individual beings in the physical world. But I'm assuming more of, like, the cursed energy and cursed technique and all of this stuff is split up amongst them, and there is a strong connection between them in, like I said, a non-physical, non-corporeal way. And also on top of this, we see the panel of like these bubbles coming up through this really, really dark, I'm assuming, liquid. It's a mental, non-physical bond being formed between the two of them. Like I said, I assume it's just Mai pouring her cursed energy into Maki. I'm assuming. So this is when we get the explanation from Mai that no matter how much Maki tries, it's never going to matter. She's never going to be strong enough to stand up to the family because of the fact that in the Jujutsu world, monozygotic twins are one person. They are one and the same in enough ways that they basically are one person split into two halves. Maki cannot live up to her full potential because, well, she's basically split into two. Like I said, not in a literal physical sense, but in other ways. This is when Mai decides to use her curse technique to create... Everybody ready for this? Everybody ready for all of this? The same blade that Toji used back in the day. Yeah, that. It's the same one. Go look at old pictures of Toji, like when he confronted Gojo and Geto swallowed him up into that curse, and he cut his way out, and he had that same one. That's pretty awesome. But, anyway, Mai sacrifices herself by using her curse technique to create this blade. We know Mai cannot create things like this. She's only been able to create one single bullet once a day. Something this intricate and this advanced. This took all of her cursed energy, her entire life. This is something we've seen in anime and manga tons and tons of times. Using all of your ki, all of your chakra, all of your life essence, whatever it is, in this self-sacrificial manner. I'm going to touch on Mai's death and what I thought about it a little more later. I think the way it was done was phenomenal. I think the choices made here were great. If there was a way to do it, this is one of the better ways to do it. But that's not why it didn't hit as hard for me as I feel like it could have. And that comes more down to semantics and everything else. So we'll get into that at the end. But moving on, she creates this sword for Maki. Gives up her life. So, this was a fan translation. This was not the official translation. When we get into the official translation, it will really decide exactly how impressive this line makes all of this seem. But Ogi says, the curses have vanished. When he's surprised, turns around, sees the force coming from the doorway. The wording of that means that Maki stood up and just negged every single one of those cursed spirits almost instantly. Like, it wasn't like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. It was, whoop, gone. Because he didn't say the cursed spirits are disappearing. No, it was walking away, doop-de-doop-de-doo, I just killed my daughters. And then, what? They're all gone. Wait a minute. Like, it went from, alright, yeah, did my job, to, huh? that makes it even more impressive when you pay attention to the wording. But like I said, this is not the official release, so not going to stick too hard on that. Anyway, the more important part is this man, Ogi, turns around, and in the doorway, you can see Maki propping Mai's body up against the wall, sitting her up, giving her sister some dignity in death, because that's something their family never showed them, in life or death, never showed them any kind of dignity. So that, seeing that in the shadows was big to me. I very much enjoyed that little bit of detail in Maki doing that for her sister after her sister sacrificed herself. But yeah, seeing Maki stand in the same way that Toji did, and another detail I love about this panel of Toji and Maki is Akutami didn't draw the sword in both of their hands. Akutami could have drawn Toji holding his sword and Maki now holding his sword. No, they only drew the sword in Maki's hand. This is Maki taking up Toji's mantle as the one with the heavenly restriction, no cursed energy, an outcast of the family, treated like garbage, here to fight back. Because Mai also tells her, do me one favor, promise me one thing, burn everything. She's not talking about everybody, the whole world. She's talking about the Zenin clan, the old ways of the Jujutsu world, the ways that made everybody, their family, treat them the way they were treated in their life. This is incredible. Maki takes up the mantle. She is not as strong as Toji was in the past. No. Not yet. Maybe in the future. But I'm saying, Maki's going to get incredibly, incredibly strong. She is taking up Toji's mantle. What other path is there for Maki in the series? She is Toji. She has the same heavenly restriction. This is what Maki is here to do. Toji has returned. The fear of the Zenin clan has returned. Ogi turns around. Eyes just go bug-eyed, all black. Says, the fear that I once tried to repress is back. He gets ready to fight, and nope. You one-shotted Maki last time. Guess what, bud? Maki one-shot the absolute hell out of you. Woo! Straight Toji style. Don't care. No fun. Whoop! Gone. Whole top of his head. Off. Done. Says, come, you failure. Woo! Ooh, we flipped that whole failure thing around real quick, didn't we, Papa? Ah, damn! Oh my god, that was too good. The whole, from him turning around, seeing the doorway, the curses have vanished, seeing Maki looking the same as Toji, the look on his face, just one-shotting him mid-strike. Oh, that was too much. I had to walk outside. I was too hyped. I didn't want to, like, bug my wife with me just, like, jumping up and down, like, screaming. It was absolutely phenomenal and a beautiful way for Maki to cap off her sister's sacrifice by taking out the man that treated her sister and herself so poorly for so long. And, well, basically tried to feed them to the wolves, almost literally. That was phenomenal. Whole chapter, absolutely incredible. Like I said, the one nitpick I have with Mai's death, it comes more from the timing of everything and the fact that, well, Yaga's death is still hitting pretty hard. Even Panda's cry is still pretty heavy on my heart, guys. Like, I'm not over Yaga and Panda. I'm not okay with that yet. And so for Mai, somebody who I care less about than Yaga, to come in and be like, well, my turn to die. Like, there kind of needs to be some gap between character deaths that you're supposed to feel for and that are supposed to hit hard. Yaga's death being like 2-3 chapters ago makes this hit way less hard. Now, I'm talking about my dying in a vacuum, not how it was done, not the fact that this affects Maki, not just the fact that I care about Maki, I like Maki, so I feel sympathetic towards her. All that stuff, fine. But my dying in a vacuum, just that one little sentence right there, my dying, or statement, I guess, that is lessened by the fact that I just had Masamichi Yaga die, Panda's dad, I have Panda crying, like, that makes my, just, I already had this super high of lows. Like, Yaga dying is a low, like, super low. Like, so, I feel like there is not really enough of a gap here. Like, I'm not, this doesn't just stack on top of Yaga. Like, oh, Yaga, and now my, no, I'm still more like, man, Yaga died. Like, yeah, Mai did too, but Yaga died. Like, bro, come on. So, I feel like the timing of this all could be a little bit better. But with that being said, we have a lot of stuff to get through and get to on our way to the culling game. There's a lot of stuff to get done, so I understand why Akutami may not be taking all of the time in the world with spacing these things out. We've also seen that, well, Yaga's fight was off screen. Maki and her father's fights were both one hit, basically. Like, they were very, very quick fights. Mai got off screen by her dad before Maki even got there. A lot of these things have been done very fast. They've been done well, and I don't have a problem with the pacing, but the fact that Yaga happened so few chapters ago, and now this, I feel like we weren't really given enough time for Mai offing herself to save Maki to hit quite the way it should have on emotional impact. But all of the other stuff surrounding it and what it led to and what led up to it still makes it an incredible moment. But with that being said, I've talked enough. This video is long enough. I got plenty of editing to do. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. If you did, like I said, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Video about the Zenin clan coming in.